The guys behind the From Corner to Corner podcast are diving deep into Montgomery County High School sports with the Community Trust Bank Coaches Corner. Join us as we talk local high school athletics with your local coaches. Whether you're a student athlete or a screaming fan, this is the place to turn to get the inside scoop before the next big game. And now it's time for the show with Sean Kiper, Neil Payne, Adam Muncy, and Wes Crouch.
And we're live from the Community Trust Bank studio on Maysville. This is the From Corner to Corner Coaches
Can we
Corner.
say Maysville Avenue?
North Maysville.
North Maysville Avenue?
It is North Maysville Avenue.
Every time you say that,
on
it irritates
Maysville.
me.
Please, everybody comment. It's North
Maysville.
Maysville Avenue.
It is North Maysville.
I wrote it. I'll read it. Whatever I want it to
It
be.
makes you look ignorant.
No, it's what I want
How
it
long
to
have
be.
you lived
Actually,
here?
I don't call it Avenue. It's North Maysville
It's just-
Road.
I just
Yeah,
call it
that's
North
true.
Maysville.
Or North Maysville.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can you at least add the north to it?
Nope.
see.
Well, then I'm taking a stand right now. I'm going to flip over a table.
It just doesn't sound the same.
Yes, it does.
No.
It's North Maysville.
I'm
Me
North
too.
Maysville.
I
just
guarantee
for
you
that,
people
throw
will
me
start
out
to
of here
comment.
till next year around August.
We go. Spoon's like, forget it. I'm done.
Okay. North Maysville.
Thank you.
That sounds so much better.
I will take
This
my
is
golf ball
Community
and go
Trust
home.
Bank Coaches Corner, presented by Community Trust Bank.
Your friend in banking.
Equal housing lender.
Member FDIC.
Thanks for joining us on live on Facebook. Before we get started, let's take a second to thank our sponsors. We have Community Trust Bank, Kimsoft, 22 Sweet Treats, CRC Renovations, Caswell Pruitt Realty, Southern Sweeties, Jacobs Auto Body, and our newest member, the Menifee County Kentucky Farm Bureau Managing Partner Brett Wehunt, who is the sponsor of the Menifee County Athlete of the Month.
And we'll be giving that out very soon.
Very soon, very soon. So while you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button or share this out. And tonight, joining us is thanks for filling in type situation, Chris Spoonamore.
Wow.
We did have the
You're not filling it in my book. In my heart, Coach, you were always option number one.
Well, I mean, bring me back on just to fill in a spot.
No,
because
you're never brought back on in my book just to fill in a spot. You're
I need that like a golf ball to the head.
We know what that's like.
well, I mean, since you appreciate the golf ball to the head, you know. Anyways, we were supposed to have the young professor from the Savannah Bananas on. Unfortunately, I had to reschedule that till next week. But we do appreciate Chris coming at the last second and filling in for us tonight. So, Chris,
Absolutely.
welcome back after a fantastic season.
Yeah.
The 10th region coach of the year.
Well, it's 12th region in golf. But
Well, that's not what they had online.
well,
They
I
totally
guess-
had 10th region online.
I mean, you know, I get it. I mean, everybody, it's all about numbers, and we kind of look at, you know, we look at numbers differently. Maybe it's the 10th for some people.
Right.
I mean, it's a Marvel universe anymore.
It is.
Anyway, so maybe that's just
Just whatever number you're feeling that day.
Yeah, we'll go with 10th if that makes you feel better and gets me back on the show. Sure, call it the second. for all.
Makes me no difference. I was just,
Insert number here, region coach of the year.
I was literally just saying what I read online. That's all it was.
I figured you might have wrote that too. That's why I was wrong.
Nope, didn't write that. I read it.
So, Coach, why don't you tell us about how the season wrapped up?
Man, so quite a bit changed from the time that we were in last, which was the golf ball to the head.
Yep.
You know, and when I say changed, I mean we just kept getting better.
Right.
We were really excited at the beginning. Of course, you know, you issued that challenge
I did.
to the girls when we had them in here and said, "Can you go back to back at Mason County?" And by George, that's what we did.
Listen, something I learned about your team is if they're challenged, they step up.
Well, they sure did then, because not only did we win that one, but I think we won it handily. I mean, it was a really good win for us. I mean, not just because of the whole back-to-back, but just the simple fact we had a little different team makeup when we went that day, and we went out and actually with a purpose, and you could see it. I mean, you could see when they were playing, you know, they were really dialed in. They're really focused. I think they were like, well, yeah, we're going to prove this. And with that bunch of girls, I can tell you that when they get something in their mind, they're gonna pull it off. That's for sure. So that was great. And it just kept, kind of kept going. I don't know how much you want me to go into at this point, or
as much as you want to. Yeah, no, as much as you want to.
So, I mean, so that kind of really, I think, pushed us to another level. And as far as the season went, I think, we got to we got through that one. We win that tournament. We came into our tournament and again played really well.
And I mean, there was some top level competition.
Absolutely. And we ended up coming in third as a team, and then Maddie also came in third as an individual.
Yeah.
So, and in our tournament with the caliber of teams that we put in it, that's saying something. I mean, that's for us to, as a team, for us to come in there and post that score.
Is that the first time you've placed in your all's tournament?
Since I've been coach.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's, we draw some of the top teams.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so, you kind of as a coach, when you're doing that, you're looking at where everyone's standing and you see several of the top 20 teams and things coming in, you're like, oh, well, let's just, if we finish middle of the pack, we should be pretty good. No, not those girls.
Right.
They're going to surprise, I think, everybody. And I love that about them. And they're extremely competitive. And they just want to prove that they're better.
Right. That they can play on the same course as the upper echelon of teams.
Absolutely. And that's always great. I mean, you want to, when you run these tournaments, and which we talked, the last time, the tournament really is about showcasing, our community, our district, our school, our team,
right.
And taking really good care of everyone. And that's the most important thing to me. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's, and the parents will back me up on that because I'm a little crazy over some of that stuff. But that's the most important thing to me is that we come out and we present ourselves and our team at like a top tier.
Right.
And this year, man, we really did. I think we had some people that host other tournaments that we go to were kind of like, man, I can't believe you all did all that, because we gave all the coaches. We couldn't say it in here, I think, on that one.
Oh, yeah, that was yeah, somebody almost ruined it that day.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just like North Maysville.
Just like Maysville over there.
So, so one of the things we did this year, Family Wealth actually had the idea, and they gave every coach a really nice black leather cart cooler that straps on the front of the cart, and it not only did it have embroidered on it, the Montgomery County Invitational, but it also had embroidered on it the team, like their high school, and every coach got one. As a coach, you don't expect things when you go to places like that. I mean, I think in some of the sports you might get a green room or something that you can go and eat. But in golf, you don't expect really anything. So when these coaches came in and they saw that, and then they saw their name on it, and then they saw that then they heard that they got to take it home. Man, that really kind of changed things.
Let me give you a visual, if you may. This thing is like a fanny pack on the front of the cart. I've never seen anything like it. It's the coolest
Well,
cooler
listen,
under the sun.
you had me at fanny pack.
It's just a fanny pack, and it sits right on front of the.
I was sold.
I believe it.
I mean, you can put 36 bottles of water in there. I think. I mean,
Yes.
it was.
You can put a lot.
You can
Water.
put water. Water.
When we go out golfing, the four of us, it would be filled with water.
Oh, we need to stay hydrated. Absolutely. But
Yes, and yes, there's nothing else in that cooler except water. I'm looking at the camera right now, so make sure we get this
Right
pan
in.
I'm telling you, and I don't play golf with him.
No, listen, I don't play golf.
But they were the coolest.
Whack at the ball.
Family Wealth did a wonderful job.
Absolutely,
As a partner.
I mean, it was for them when we were able to get them on board, and I have to give full credit to Mike Wills. I mean, Mike absolutely just nailed the job as booster president because he worked so hard, and especially worked so hard with them to establish that relationship and get them on board with us. I mean, that's invaluable because it takes the presentation of everything about our tournament to another level.
Yep.
And it just makes our community look good. It makes our program look good. Makes our district look good.
Well, you mentioned some of the coaches that host tournaments that you go to that showed up and was like, dang, like that probably is going to cause them to up their game next year.
Absolutely. I hope it does.
I will say, and I'm going to say this, but I'm going to come back around and make it a positive. 2 years ago, it was a little bit of a hassle because of the golf course was a little not the usual way the golf course is.
Right.
It was
actually
you were talking about how crazy it sometimes you are because of you want to make sure that this tournament looks pristine.
Right.
But this last year they done a world of work between 2 years ago and this last year.
Oh yeah.
And it was real close to being perfect. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if anybody has been out to the golf course lately, but it just continues to get better and better and better, and which should make it's got to make you just ecstatic going for looking forward to next year and future years because it looks wonderful.
Absolutely. I mean, Kelly and Brad and all the guys that work out there on the course, I mean, absolutely nailed it, you all. I mean, the amount of work and money and time that went in to getting that golf course back in shape from the way it was the year before. I mean, I can't believe that they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really can't believe that they did it because a lot of us were thinking, oh man, well, I mean, if they can get just this part back or just this part back, it'll be great. But I mean, they did it.
Yeah.
And they got the greens rolling, good, and I mean, and it'll still improve. I mean, to see where it was and see what it ended up looking like at our tournament, absolutely. I mean, it's on them. I mean, they nailed it.
I agree.
I can't imagine again the amount of time and effort and money that went into doing it, but they were committed to making that course look good.
Right.
So yeah,
well,
they should be really proud.
So then we move into region. And you had a pretty good run in region.
So region was kind of the story of the up and down, mountain valley, right? So we missed a regional championship by one stroke. Now, as a golf coach, when you're there and somebody beats you by one stroke, it just like your mind goes back and you start looking at all the things that you saw over the course of the day and like, oh, we could have got it there. Oh, we could have got it there. We could have got it there. And then the girls talk about again how competitive they are. I mean, they were mad.
Right.
I mean, I was mad. I mean, deep down, but I mean, they were mad because they went back through their rounds and I cost it. I cost it. We would have won if it wasn't been for me. And I mean, and they were saying those things like, no, we can always come back and see. Right. It's like, but just keep it in mind in golf when we say, that every shot counts. And It really does.
Right.
And it was a great example. It was a great learning lesson,
Right.
For all of them to see that, if your mind does slip and you miss that 2-foot tap in, and because you just weren't really paying attention, that's a stroke.
Right.
And so, it was really good. It was really good for them, I think, because I think they used that to kind of keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So region, we come out, and it still played well. But we came out surviving in advance, like we're getting basketball season, right? So that's kind of like golf too when we get in the postseason. So we make it out of there, and then go to that first round of the state tournament, and I was looking at the past scores because, again, as a coach, what do? You start looking at the statistics of the other teams. And I started looking, and I went, okay, you have Madison Central and you have Lexington Catholic that were both there. And so there's, both of them. No, I take that back. That was Lexington Christian and Lexington Catholic were both. Madison Central just had a couple of girls, I guess. And then so you look at them and you're like, oh, man. Okay, so that's 2 spots. And then here's all these other teams. They got 1 more spot. And I'm like, all right, well, we got a shot. I started looking at the numbers. I was like, we're really close to this team, this team, and this team. And it's like, well, let's just see how it goes. Let's see how we play. We know that everyone's playing on the same course. And Winchester Country Club is pretty tough. It's really small greens, a lot of huge, big, mature trees. And you get off fairway just a little bit and you're in trees. So people are going to miss greens. People are going to be in the trees. And that's one of the things I told the girls, like, you're going to be in the trees. You're going to have to punch a shot out. You're going to hit a tree. You're going to hit a green that's going to roll off. Just know it. It's okay. Keep going.
Right.
And we were down, I think the picture that they put in the paper right there at the end that Dan Manley wrote, that last write-up on us, that picture that he put in, and it's me, and I'm kind of sitting there holding my chin, looking, and Maddie's beside me, and she's, and you see this look on both of her faces. Well, that was caught up by the 18th green, and I'm running numbers, and I'm watching the online scoring, and I'm sitting there going, okay, so we're up, and at that time we were down 9, and I'm like, all right, we're down 9 strokes. And I was like, but they've still got 5 holes left. All right, well, let's, and it was funny, man. So that look of intensity, that was kind of that, oh crap.
Well, and it was shortly after that I text you,
right,
and congratulated you on making the next round, and you were like, "It's not over yet. I swear, if you jinx us, I'm gonna slice your Achilles." I think that's what he told me.
Well, it may have been something like that.
I was gonna say. The last 5 holes, and we had been talking about it that day, the last 5 holes looked like every team, other than you all stayed steady. It was either bogey golf or there was a couple of pars in there. There was a couple double bogeys. But it was a consistency in the last 5 holes. Everyone else, it ate their lunch.
Yeah. Those, especially the last... Let's see, the last 3 are brutal.
Yeah.
One of them you have to go up, and it takes almost a 90-degree turn to the right and down. Yeah. And everything to the left of the green slopes just a pretty big grade in the ground. So everything slopes down to the right. The green slopes off to the right, and then it runs down again. Yeah. And that one, I watched so many balls hit and boom, just fly off the green. Yeah. And that absolutely, that hole just crippled multiple teams.
Yeah.
And when I went back and looked at it, for the most part, we played it pretty well.
Right. Yeah.
So that was a change. That was a major change for us. It was kind of funny. One of the dads from Greenup County, who his daughter Cambria I've watched her play. She was a senior this year. I've watched her play since she was in 7th grade. Mm-hmm. And so I've kind of got to know them, over the years. And he came over and he kind of grabbed me on my shoulder and said, well, we saw you just standing there stone-faced, not moving for about 25 minutes, and then all of a sudden we saw you start walking around. We knew at that point you knew that you were going to win. And I'm like, yeah, but he said, yeah, we were watching you.
Right.
Because I wasn't moving. I was afraid to almost even breathe at that point.
I mean, so at what point did you realize, hey, we're going to go to the second day?
I honestly, I was not going to say a word. That's why you got the text message that you got. I wasn't going to say a word until I saw the final scores, everything signed and in.
Right.
Because you just never know in golf.
Right.
I mean, and if something goofy happened with their scoring, someone was disqualified or something, that could really kind of shake things up for us. So I wasn't going to say anything until that point. But yeah, man, when I finally saw the final scores come in, and they're like, all right, Montgomery's in on that third spot, and if somebody had taken my blood pressure, I bet it was through the roof. I was probably hitting like 200 over 100 or something. But I was so excited because I think it was like 2007 maybe when they had made it past the first rounds. In the old setup, everybody went to Bowling Green. Well, not everybody. So the top two teams went to Bowling Green, and then you had a cut round. So the first round you had to make the cut for the second round. Second round was the championship round. So they eliminated that to give that first round of the state tournament. And then when you go to Bowling Green, it's 2 rounds. I mean, everybody's playing 2 rounds for the championship. So I think it was 2007 was the last time that they had made like the cut round.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing team that they had. I think it was Stephanie and Allison, I think, was playing then. I think she was the one that told me. I'll probably have the wrong date, the wrong year there, I'm sure, after I said it. But I think she was the one that told me the year, and that's what stuck in my head.
So we're talking about 15 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least.
No, I mean, longer than that. I mean, because if it went 06, so it would be 15, 16.
Yeah, 15, 16 years ago.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
So you get to Bowling Green, and had good weather this time, because the year before when you went down with Payne as an individual.
Well, Payne only went the first round. She didn't qualify for the second round.
Okay, but it rained the whole time the first round last year, right?
It didn't rain on us, but the wind was awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were hitting gusts that were like 35 miles an hour. I mean, it was brutal, and it was pretty cold too that day.
Yeah. So you get down to Bowling Green, and I mean everything was
beautiful.
Yeah. How many teams make it to Bowling Green?
So there's 9.
Okay.
So end up that's what you get.
So, I mean, to think that you're one of the last 9 teams standing in the state of Kentucky is pretty dang cool.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a spot that, we definitely haven't been in since I've been coach. And then it's been even, been longer, than that for, the team as a whole. I mean, we look up, the weather's beautiful. I try not to bash too many things, but I have to be honest. So we get down there and we play our practice round, and we're looking pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean, I told the girls, it's like, expect really large greens. They will be fast. You're going to have bunkers that protect the green. I mean, some of the greens are completely protected by bunkers. And I said, you're going to get in the bunkers. You're going to have some 3 putts because they're that fast. I said, just be patient with it. Other people are going to do the same thing. So our practice round, we're putting pretty good. The greens were fast, but they weren't ridiculous. Go home, go eat, go back to the hotel, come out that next morning, and I watch them all hit. I follow Maddie down because she was the last one, and I watched her first putt, and I'm like, uh-oh, that's different. Walk over to another hole and catch Ava putting, and I watch her putt, and I mean she took one that was not a real far putt, and it ran by like 6-7 feet, and I went, boys, there's something happened.
They did something to the course,
right? So about halfway through, I see one of the officials, and and it's a guy that I've kind of got to know over the years. And I'm talking to him. He's like, "Well, how's it going?" I was like, "Man, these greens are killing us. I mean, we're 4 putting these greens." And so he goes, "Well, let me tell you." He said, "Last night they came in and cut the greens. Today, this morning, they came in, cut them again, and rolled them. So they double cut and rolled the greens from the practice round to the first round." And I mean, and that's again. I mean, I'm going to tell the truth, and I'm going to criticize that. That's a terrible move.
It's a terrible idea.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I know this will probably get back to some people.
Well, that's okay.
Well, let them know it, because
I'll make sure to tag them on Facebook.
Yeah, please do. I mean, but that's not fair to the kids.
No.
I mean, and I don't know how to even.
You wasted your time practicing, basically.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you have that feel, and golf is such a mental sport. So you have that feel, and you feel really good coming into it, and you have the feel of the greens, and then you come out and it's completely different. And we're talking so much that my buddy, the official, said that they measured them on the stimp meter. So a stimp meter measures the speed of greens. So they put them on a stimp. It was 11.5 on the stimp. I mean, so you're talking getting up like D1, like semi-pro level speed greens. And here's these girls out there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they haven't played on anything like that. And then to have that big of a change, so the scores were up across the board, and it was just simply because of that. I mean, it's just something, again, you don't do. It'd be like going out to the football field and taking all the turf off right before a game. You know, I mean, just good luck in the mud.
Did they change the pins from one day to the next?
They did.
So, I mean, that's challenging enough as it is, and then they did that, you know, after the first day. So
yeah, it was. So the second day, I don't think that they did anything to them.
Yeah.
For the second day, I think they just probably knocked off the dew and went, because they were slightly slower. Not much. I mean, it's not. They're not.
Well, there wasn't much grass left, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was like this table right here. I mean, it felt like that table to some of the girls.
Now, you finished 9th, right?
So we did finish 9th.
Well, so let's what if for a second. If the greens were like they were on the practice round, how good do you think you guys could have done?
Well, for one, as a team, I think we dropped 16 strokes from day 1 to day 2.
Yeah.
So, that speaks volumes to this team,
Yep.
and again, the competitiveness of these girls, because they were not satisfied with what they ended up doing that first day, and because they knew that they were way better than that.
Right.
And again, we played well. I mean, I saw us hit. And we played well. It was the greens we putted terrible.
Right.
So I mean, now we have to make the adjustment. I mean, in their defense, I mean, the girls should make the adjustment and do better. We weren't there. You know, we weren't at the caliber of player that can do that fast. So we did to the second day. You know. Gosh, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's tough to really kind of look back at it now at this point. But but we pulled together, dropped 16 shots. We beat Bowling Green the second day and beat them handedly.
Right.
We don't have that really bad first day. I think we go 7th.
Yeah.
Definitely 8th.
Yeah.
But I think we go 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. I think the way we hit the ball, and then of course the adjustments for the second day. I mean, to walk out and beat the team that's kind of the host. I mean, I don't know if Bowling Green High School actually uses Bowling Green Country Club, but it's still there in Bowling Green.
Right.
So, I mean, for us, I was really proud of you all.
I mean, like I said, 9th place finish. That's
you're still one of 9 teams.
Right.
The entire state is home.
I mean, that's fantastic. So, you graduated a couple seniors.
Actually, 3.
3. So, talk about what they meant to your program.
So, these 3 girls, they've been with me since, I might as well say 7th grade, because a couple kind of started working, with me when they were still in 7th grade, but wasn't necessarily on a team yet. But they've been with me from the beginning.
Yeah.
And, it's something special to you as a coach when you have, these girls that have stuck it out, that you've watched them improved. I joke and say, they're like all my kids. It's like my daughters. I have a whole team of daughters. And that's really true there.
Right.
I mean, so the big guy got a little emotional,
Yeah.
when we did our senior dinner and some things. And those girls, I mean, they're leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, they're involved in so many things, and they're super to work with. They treat the younger girls that are learning, because they've all been there. They treat the younger girls so well. They're so encouraging. So Delaney and Jordan and Kylie, I mean, you're not going to find three better young ladies than those three.
Right.
I mean, they all three at various times worked really hard and improved their game coming into a season. And, and all three of them, I mean, I'm still getting messages on field level on a recruiting app, looking at wanting those three.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a text, honestly, this weekend. I texted back and forth with a coach in West Virginia who is dead set, that he wanted. I mean, it's really cool. And it's not just for golf, but it's because they're super
They're
young
just
women.
good kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky there. I mean,
Right.
to have seniors and have that kind of leadership out of such good girls. Yeah, I mean, I'm really lucky there.
So we graduated three seniors off a ninth place finish in the entire state of Kentucky. What do we return next year?
So, I'm really excited because of the five there, Kylie Reese is the only one that we've lost.
Right.
So 4 of the 5 are coming back.
Right.
Ava will be a senior next year, and Maddie and Payne and Macy will all be juniors.
Yep.
So, and we already have somebody that I believe will step right in, where Kylie was, and probably by that point in time, probably be really close to her scores. So I don't think we miss a beat.
Okay.
Score wise, I think we only will just get better.
Yeah.
So now how that plays out in tournaments, we'll have to see. But I mean, to me, I told the parents at our banquet, I said, it's taken us 10 years to get to this point, and it's taken a lot of work to get to this point. And I told them, I'm not taking my foot off the gas.
Right.
So just get ready,
Right.
because we're still going.
Yep.
And right now, I have 3 years left before I plan on retiring. Like I'm not retiring with a busted program.
Right.
Like there's no way. We worked to get here. We better be better.
Right, right.
So when I walk away, I want us to be at the top.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's when I look at what's coming back, and I think about next year, then it's absolutely it's what I've wanted for the last several years. I've told the parents at our banquet and said the same thing. I want it to be where Montgomery walks in, and unless you are those top tier state championship teams that have actually won state championships, unless you're those teams, Montgomery walks in and everybody says, "Oh crap, here they come!"
Right.
I mean, they're going to take top 5. I mean, they're going to have some players in contention for a championship. They're going to, and that's what I want.
Yep.
I mean, anything less than that at this point is kind of a little bit of a letdown.
Right.
Because I'm not taking my foot off the gas.
Right.
We're going.
So, what kind of will you all, and maybe you've started, will you do anything this off season to improve your game?
Yeah, I mean, what we've done in the past, and this is something that we desperately need here. We desperately need an indoor facility to where we can use. There's been some things off and on, some possibilities, but nothing has ever panned out. So what we'd have to do in the off season, unless they go to places on their own, I push all the chairs back in my room and make enough space to put up a net. And, I've got a really good hitting mat, good net, and we go in, and then I'm filming, and, and we'll do individual work in there for the ones that want to. but that's a lot to do.
That's a lot.
I mean, and it's, you know, in this community with the level of golf that we have with both the guys and the girls, I mean, we need something.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to be able to put in the time and energy with good facilities, and that's just something I think we need. I think somebody out there can probably step up and help us, and and help the district, and something to try to get us someplace to do our work.
Right.
Otherwise, it's going to Lexington or somewhere like that. That's
right.
That has some sort of facility like that, and
that's where you have to go. You have to make it to Lexington.
And not only that, they're dealing with someone else at that point.
Right.
Yeah, someone else that's not their coach. Not to say that they're not good, but it's just a matter of, it's not you trying to, push them in. These girls, how they play, and okay, I can push them. I need to push them. This one this way, this one another way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's at this point, I know their faults. I've seen them so many times on video on their swings.
Yeah.
So I know the issues that each one faces, and I mean, I'm all about if somebody wants to go to Lexington and get lessons over there, or Louisville or whatever, super, go for it. I mean, that's their individual time and money, and sure, you don't have to do it. I mean, and those people, that's their job. I mean, so they're probably 1,000 times better than I am, but I still know their faults. So,
right.
And it takes a while to learn. You can see the faults in the swings if you're a good instructor. You can see that immediately, but then how to communicate to them to get them to understand what you're trying to get them to do, that's what takes a little longer. I mean, because it's still a teenager. So yeah, I love to have hands on as much as possible, but that's the thing we need. I mean,
Yep.
We really do. I mean, I think to keep advancing and getting better and better, I think that's what we do. And the fact that we've done what we have been able to do, we've done this without it.
Right.
But that's no reason to not have it.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
No, 100%, and hopefully somewhere down the line, and maybe in the very near future, somebody has the resources that can, like, hey, I want to see our both golf teams, go take that next step, go to the next level. Let's see what I can do to help with that. So
I mean, and space wise, you're talking, 15 by 25. I mean, well, it has to be tall enough to swing a club.
This is true.
I might be able to reach that ceiling.
Wes, are you really suggesting them beat the crap out of our office?
No. I'm just saying the size of the studio would be, it would be nice if it was taller ceilings, but yeah, it don't take much more than this.
No, you really don't need a crazy amount of room. And even me saying like 15 by 25, that's more than you need, but that gives you room to film and
sure.
And
I had two questions.
Yeah.
Is on a state level, is there anything that you can see as a coach, as long as you've been a coach, that needs to change now? And along with that is, I know that state competition is in Bowling Green, I guess every year. Should that alternate around the state? Is there places in the state that it should alternate from, then alternate to?
Well, I mean, ideally you would have the state tournament be a fairly central location,
right?
For the state of Kentucky,
and not 4 hours away. Right?
Well, but here's the thing: in their defense, these other tournament venues have to apply for it, and no one applies for it.
Oh, okay.
See, so I mean, Bowling Green Country Club, the people down there, and this is not just me saying it as a coach and it's like, well, we've been there, we got to make them happy. I'm serious. The people at Bowling Green Country Club are amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so good to us as coaches. They're so good to the girls and the parents. And you can imagine, parents. There's parents that get pretty wild, in competition. And they are so respectful, and they go above and beyond what you would expect down there. So I get it, and they've got they've got the right kind of sponsorships down there. So I totally understand it, and it's not a knock on the country club, because again, they take really good care of us, and it's a beautiful facility.
Yeah,
but it would be nicer for those of us, just east of Central Kentucky to, not have quite so far to go. That it would be, that's again the central part of Kentucky. Everybody's got about the same drive.
Right.
There's some fairly nice courses in the Central Kentucky too. That,
there's beautiful courses around.
Would be able to make that happen.
And there's courses around Central Kentucky that have been host to PGA tournaments and LPGA tournaments. And senior PGA tournaments. So they have the facilities to do it. But again, those venues have to apply for it.
What's the one over in Georgetown that the Barbasol is always at?
It's in
Nicholasville.
Is it Nicholasville?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was Georgetown? Anyways.
But I mean, that's just kind of, that's my thoughts. It would be nice to kind of have a couple of different places. But if you don't, there's no better place than down there at Bowling Green Country Club. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, they have plenty of parking and large facilities. I mean, the clubhouse itself is massive, so it can house the people, and that's what you got to be able to do. You got to be able to take on that many people coming in.
And on a state level, you think everything is, is there anything that could change on a state level
that would improve the game?
Yeah, they would improve the game for the girls. Whether it's rules or trying to follow more LPGA rules, or it's
and I mean, maybe not improve the game, but improve the experience for the girls.
Don't double cut and roll from practice round to the first round. But I'm serious. I mean, if some of those things that to me, that's just common sense. That you don't want to change. You don't want to change some aspect of the game. That close to it. But no, I mean, I think the rule changes that we had in 2019 helped speed up play. For the most part, those were good. As far as getting down there and the way that we do things with the KHSAA, I think it's pretty solid. I mean, I don't see that you could really impact the tournament a whole lot at that level to make it better, and a better experience for the girls, or better. I don't think you really could, in that respect. Now, the changeover in as far as the state round 1 and 2, there were some of us that disagreed, on kind of how that placement should be and maybe why, but when it comes down to it, there's still a large portion of the eastern half of the state that's has a golfer or two that are really good, but just not really top tier teams. So I understand a little better now than I did, why they went to this to this format.
Gotcha.
And it puts some of your better players and better teams down in Bowling Green at the end.
Gotcha.
And like I said, I disagreed early on with it, but I can admit when I'm wrong, and I think that was probably for the best.
Yeah.
And of course, we made it in there, which makes us look even better, right?
Right.
So. Yeah.
I don't like it, really. I really don't. Actually, I kind of do like it.
Well,
Well,
not just because we got there, but I mean, it makes more sense to me now.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the past, and you all could do this easily. I mean, you can go back and look at the scores in Bowling Green over the last 15 years, and you saw better scores down there this year than what you used to, because you used to take 2 teams from every region down there, and that's a hard course. I mean, anyway, skip the speed of the greens. It's just a hard course.
Yeah.
And so you take girls that are, maybe going down there because with their team, and they shot 130 in their region. Well, you put them on that course, here comes a 160 at you.
Yeah.
And that's, that's in one round. That's like 2 rounds, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's makes sense now. I get it. I mean, again, it's not just because we were there, but I'm just tickled to death that we were because of the format. That makes it a lot harder,
Right,
to get there. So we had to be better.
nice.
Man, I mean, listen, it couldn't. I mean, it could have gone better. We could have been state champs, but I mean, for heaven's sakes, for the team that you had with 3 seniors and really a young group after that, I mean, you couldn't have asked for any better, and it shows the future is really bright.
Yeah, absolutely. The last time Dan Manley and I talked about, the program, that was one of the things that he even said is like, you can probably look at this year and what we were able to do this year, almost like that springboard that's going to take you, higher and hopefully, just keep getting better and maybe post some more wins and get back down there and maybe be in,
absolutely
top 5, top 6.
Right. And it gives the girls the experience that, you can't teach that, right? You can't teach experience, so they've already experienced that. So if they do get the opportunity to run by next year, then they don't have that jitters, right? Yeah. We done been here once. So
that's a perfect point because I think that was one of the things that we were struggling with for several years. We were so close of getting out of that region so many years. I mean, we put back-to-back regional runner-ups there in 2021, I think. But we were so close that none of these girls ever had a taste of it.
Right.
Now they got a taste of it.
Right.
And it's hard to communicate that to somebody unless they've experienced it. So now that they have,
well, and something I know about your girls is now that they've done something. So I'm going to challenge them, Coach, if you don't mind.
Hey, you go for it.
Girls, I challenged you twice this year, and you exceeded expectations. I'm challenging you to get back to Bowling Green. The challenge is laid down. Get back to Bowling Green.
There you go. Absolutely.
I know one that'll do whatever he can do to try to get them there. And, absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wes, you want to tell us a little bit about the MOCO roundup?
MOCO in the now.
I can.
He was not prepared.
I was not prepared for that. But I can tell you right now, I mean, basketball season has started.
Has it?
It has.
Wow.
Currently, your boys' basketball team is 2-0. Had a close game versus Greenup here, but did pull out the win, 63-60. A Greenup team that, when they hit the floor, you kind of go, we were bigger and we were more athletic. They're scrappy. They played some serious defense. You were there.
Yeah.
And
they played hard.
And they're a pretty good team.
I talked to Jordan at the girls' game, and he said that they lost one of their better players, but he said, I think they're better now because they play more as a team.
Yeah.
That the kid that graduated really kind of dominated the game flow. So they definitely played up more than what they expected.
Well, and then they went and played Mason County played them, I want to say, in Greenup. And Mason County ended up taking them, I want to say, to overtime. Greenup's a good scrappy team. Yeah. It would not shock me at all to see them have a deep region run.
Yeah.
And then they played Trinity Christian, and that was a game that everybody got to play off the bench.
Jeff Taylor was back. Jeff Taylor, who's from here.
Oh.
Played for
Montgomery
that's right.
County. Jeff does.
He
coaches them. That's right.
It was funny. It was good to see him. Of course, I was up in the stands, but, I mean, Gary, his dad, and my dad were really good friends. So Jeff and Matt, his younger brother, and I, we all grew up together, and my brother Scott. So it was good to see an old Montgomery boy come back and play.
I totally forgot about that. The girls' team currently stands at 1-1. They beat Fleming County by 19 opening night.
Should have been 35. Those refs were terrible. Both ways, not just on us. The refs, I swear, 3 old dudes that had no business being refs out there. They were horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they traveled to Notre Dame, and
Well, dang, no wonder we lost. We're playing college teams.
and they did get beat there. So
Don't laugh.
probably a good game on the
encouraged
road early to kind of get an understanding of where they stand on the road. So
I did get an opportunity to go to the girls' game. We play physical.
Yeah.
One thing I learned real quick about Hayden, don't make that girl mad. Because she plays aggressive when she is mad. I mean, she was jacking threes up and hitting them and turning around and laughing at the girl in the face. And I was like, wow, that's. But I bet she hit the floor 20 times in that game.
That bunch they're intense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then our wrestling team had their first tournament of the year. The boys team finished 4th out of 19. The Indians were led by Clayton Bradley, who took first in the 150-pound weight class. Ben Thomerson, who took second in the 165 class. And then Triton Ambergy, also known as Bassmaster,
let's just call him Boat.
who took
He's
fourth.
a boat.
who took 4th in the 144 class. And Tanner Stevens was 4th in the heavyweight class. So looks like our boys wrestling team, I haven't heard anything about the girls wrestling team yet, but our boys wrestling team is off to a great start.
Nice.
And I know the swimming team had another meet. They did pretty solid there. I don't exactly know, but I feel like they may have come out with a win there also after the win from last week we talked about, or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I know Dive had a competition not too long ago, and I think they've started off pretty solid. So, I mean, winter sports are here. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that our cheerleading group cheers at KHSAA state competition on Friday.
Yep.
In Winchester, they compete at supposed to be 7:45 or somewhere around in there. So we'll see. But
In the morning?
at night.
Oh, okay.
Friday
I was
night.
like, dang. That's a punishment call.
They're trying to get the competition in before school starts on Friday. No. So please, everyone that can, tickets are on sale now on GoFan through KHSAA. Show up. As many people that we can get there and scream for them, the better.
Yeah.
They
Sean,
qualified for Florida too, didn't they?
They did qualify for nationals. They did. So
Do you have any updates on bowling?
I know the last I saw, the boys were undefeated. The girls, I think, have only lost one game.
I was going to say the boys are state runner-up team. So,
yeah, and I think they've gotten better.
Yeah.
And they lost some talent off of that team last year too. But I know Noah Hall has been killing it. He's like averaging close to a 200 right now. So Leonard is the right guy there. When he's teaching them well, and I think he's teaching the girls too. So I think that's why we're seeing an improvement out of the girls team. They're doing a co-coaching type thing. So doing well on that part of it for sure.
Nice.
Now, as far as our KimSoft Athlete of the Week.
I was going to say, you mentioned girls basketball there a minute ago.
It's got to be a girl that comes out and in her debut with Montgomery County puts up 16 points and 17 rebounds. So our KimSoft Athlete of the Week is Miss Savannah Jarvis. Congratulations.
Woo!
Savannah.
Good job, Savannah.
Yeah.
So, yes, I mean, fantastic. I did not get the stats for the game against Notre Dame, but, I mean, coming out in your first game, she was very dominant in that game.
Yeah.
So.
Well deserved.
Yeah. Well, Chris, man, we appreciate you coming and joining us again. We always have fun having you on here.
And you got to be in the studio.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I had to ask, I don't know, 3 or 4 times because I forget things, you know. And I'm like, where are we at again? What time is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
This is the new home of From Corner to Corner.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Love it.
So, well, folks, there you have it. That is
Especially
our
people on the street.
From Corner to Corner Coach's Corner. if you haven't already, go out and give us a follow on the social medias. Also, be sure to like and share all of our posts. Invite your friends to like our page. We do all of this for the community, for our coaches, for our players, for our fans, for our community. I mean,
for our community.
For our community and our
Go community.
And for our community.
community.
And we're live from the Community Trust Bank Studios.
And we're working towards working with Menifee County.
And the community.
And the community of Frenchburg. Anyways, we'll catch you guys next week.
Stay safe, friends.
Thank you.
The MOCO Four Horsemen would like to thank you for listening to From Corner to Corner. Be sure to go out and follow us on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook, Instagram, and even YouTube. Whatever podcast platform that you listen to us on, be sure to go out and give us a 5-star review. Thanks as always, and we look forward to seeing you next week.